Good morning. We are out here in my orchard area and we are going to, I went to Costco and bought a couple of trees, some bare root trees, which I like to get them from a local nursery here, but I got suckered into the Costco inventory. So we're gonna plant a couple of trees, and also I got a camellia while I was there, and then I got some bulbs. So I got way more than I didn't plan to buy there, but that's what happens. So let's get started and get them planted. So like I said, we're here in the orchard, and I had a tree here, right here, that was pluot, which is a plum apricot mix, and it got borers and got killed. So we are going to plant one of these bare root trees here, and then these trees are all planted like 16 feet apart, but I'm going to actually stick one in between these other ones because I think I could get them closer to 8 feet apart. So I think we're going to plant the other one just in between some of these others. This needs to all be weed whacked out here. But that's what we're going to do. And then we'll plant the camellia. Plum cot, which is a plum apricot hybrid. So it's kind of like what I said is they called it a pluot, which is the same thing. It says it's greenish maroon, skin firm, juicy, red, sweet flesh. Ripens June and July. So you can tell they've already got leaves on them, which is great. And here's the bare root that it's in. And then this other one I have is an early Alberta peach. So right now we have an O. Henry peach, which is amazing and I love it, but it ripens very late. It ripens in like the end of August, early September. So this one is ripens earlier, and this one ripens in July. So it says it's a large yellow skin with red blush, and it is a early Alberta peach. So we're gonna go ahead and get these planted. So I will show you guys. Last year we planted a bunch of daffodils out here, and they didn't do anything last year, but look, this year you can see them all starting to come up. I think I planted them in late. I can't remember when I planted them last year, but they are all coming up. So, where's your boots?
I know.
You don't know where they are?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I want this one. I want this one.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll find a slug. So where this hole is, there was a tree here before, which I think I already said. So the hole is easy to dig. We're not going to dig down that deep because the tree that was here was bigger than what's we're putting in. And I want to be able to put mulch on top of these too. So ground is really soft. This is actually good soil back here because I've been working it for a few years trying to get it into good soil and not just straight decomposed granite like the rest of this part of our yard is.
I want this one. I want this one.
Although there are a lot of weeds which we need to deal with.
I want this one.
Honey, I'm looking, baby. I don't see any worms.
I want this one.
I don't know where there's any, baby. I can't see any. Right, so we have our baby stone shore start, which is a root hormone. So we put that in the hole, and then we put the peach in the hole. Like I said, we want to put these not very deep because trees definitely don't like their roots to be submerged in water. So we plant them pretty high so that we have room on top to, oh, there's a worm, Joey. So that we have room on top to put the wood chips. So that is what we are going to do.
Mom.
So this is not actually, this is okay for a bare root. It's not great. True bare roots would have kind of a flare because their roots wouldn't have been trained to anything. This is more of just a sleeve. So I don't know. We'll see how these trees do. Honey, I don't know where a slug is. because I don't know where slugs live. There's not slugs in here. What?
A black slug.
A black slug?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to your black slug the other day.
Why?
Why?
I'll go over there.
I'm gonna need to get some compost and fill in this hole. There's still a big hole from where the tree was before. So we're gonna get some compost, get it filled in. I'm just gonna use my shovel to go get some because we don't need that much. We just need a couple shovels full. Okay, I'm gonna get a bucket of compost for this.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you need to get your shoes on.
No.
Why not? That's a bucket. A bucket. Okay, there's composted horse manure around it. Okay, now the thing with planting fruit trees is that everybody thinks they want a tall fruit tree, but you actually don't. You want to start them so that their first set of branches start about your knees and your second set about your waist, because you want them to be about 6 feet to 7 feet tall at their highest.
Well, if I know
So we're gonna go ahead and cut this off at about knee height with for where we want, so that the branches will grow out of, so the branches will start growing at knee height. So that's my knee. So I'm gonna cut it. There's a branch here and there's a bud here. Let's see if I can show you up close. So there's this branch here, and then there's a bud here and a bud here. So I'm gonna cut it right above those because I'm gonna hope that those two buds will form, do up one more, so that these buds will grow where the branches will grow from. Which this part is always scary when trimming trees and planting fruit trees. Because then you feel like, I just lost half the tree. So all of this we don't really want on our tree. So, and then I put the tags back on for a while so that I know what they are, because I forget. So, all right, let's go plant the plum cut. So we're going to plant this next tree in between this tree there and that tree back there. So like I said, these are planted about 16 feet apart. We're gonna make them 8 feet apart and start squishing in the trees because we don't have to drive a tractor through here or anything. We don't need the wider spacing because they're fruit trees. They don't get, I keep my fruit trees trimmed pretty small. So I don't need great big huge trees that I want to climb up in ladders on. So we're gonna put them 8 feet apart, which is close, but it's okay. So for me, the easiest way to measure is these fence posts are all 8 feet apart. So I just plant right in front of a fence post. So it makes measuring easy. Again, we're not going to plant it deep because we're going to put compost and mulch around it. So I didn't dig the hole very deep. And then this grass is here, which we're going to come in with cardboard and chips and put it down to smother out all this grass. We're going to do that this spring when it quits growing. Right now it's in growth mode. So once it starts dying off, we're going to come in and smother it out, which we should have done over the winter, but we didn't get to it. That's the thing with gardening. There's always a to-do list a mile long, and sometimes you just can't get to them. So this tree is interesting. It's probably not a tree I should have bought, but I didn't look that close. So looking at this, see how we've got the graft? This is the rootstock, which is a different type of tree. Usually they put rootstock on a very strong, that's a good root grower, to then graft it onto, and then grow the fruit that you want onto they graft the fruit that you want onto the tree, onto that rootstock. So this one, it's kind of weird how the rootstock comes up and then this is growing off the side. Again, probably not one I should have bought, but I didn't look that close and I was kind of in a hurry at Costco, so I bought it anyway, but we're gonna go with it. If it dies, we'll replace it. Handful of Sure Start, and then the tree goes in. When you're planting trees, you don't want to put any sort of potting soil or anything in the hole like that. It creates kind of a bathtub effect and it can make the water not drain. So you want to just use your native soil to fill back into the hole. And then top it with compost and mulch. So I'm gonna go get my compost. I got the tree planted, threw the compost on it, cut it off about knee height, and now we're gonna go plant a camellia. Okay, we are up here in the shade garden where we are going to plant the camellia and the stilby, I think it's called. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's not actually zoned for our zone, but I'm hoping that if I plant it in the shade and it gets plenty of water, that it will do okay. So let me show you what we've got. All right, so this is the camellia, which I'm very excited about this because camellias bloom in July. I'm sorry, not July. They bloom in January. They bloom in the winter, and we don't have a lot of winter interest around here. Everything, especially up here in the shade garden, everything dies out. You can see our Japanese maple, which has got pretty red, that's a coral bark maple, Japanese maple. And then we have a dogwood. We've got another Japanese maple that I just got this one from a friend. I don't know what kind it is, but it's got yellow branches and they'll be pretty once they're bigger. But right now they're not very exciting. So I'm excited to put this camellia out here, and I'm hoping that because it will get kind of shade even still in the winter, and then in the summer it will get a lot of shade with the oak trees above it, that it will do okay, and then it will love it here and we'll have nice pretty pink blossoms in the winter. So they're big. They get let's see, 7 to 10 feet tall and 4 to 6 feet wide. So a nice big bush. So I think I'm gonna put it, I haven't quite decided. I think I'm gonna put it right back here, kind of next to the dogwood underneath the oak here. It's a little bit closer to the creek, so it'll be a little bit wetter of ground and a little bit shadier in the summer to protect it from the summer sun. Because it'll be a nice backdrop to kind of hide the pigs too, because the pigs are not super pretty to look at. They're not pretty. Right now it's not bad because there's not pigs in there, but in the summertime it gets gross and muddy and out there. So I think we'll do that. We'll plant that there, and then this stilby, as it's I think called, is a super cool like flowering plant that we can use for cut flowers and then also for some color out here as well. And it says, let's see. I don't know. Let's see. It says it blooms in the summer. They get pretty big, 24 inches, which will be nice out here to have some color. 18 inches tall. Plant them a foot deep and 20 inches apart. And then I'm not really sure. I don't know what their water needs are. I need to look and see, because I kind of thought about planting them along the creek. So along the creek, I've been trying to put in some water-loving plants so that we could get some interest along it too, which you can see we've got calla lilies, which we planted here 2 summers ago, and they're beautiful. When they bloom, it's beautiful out here. And then this needs to be, the grass needs to be taken out, but we have some cannas in here as well that do really well, but the grass is just taken over right now. So we need to take care of the grass out here, cut it back. And then we have some cattails that grew on their own. We did not plant those, they just started growing here, which I'll let them grow for a while. They're a good filter plant. Eventually they take over too. But just trying to do some landscape along here, so that I might actually plant along the banks here to give it some interest along here. All right, here we go. Oh, I forgot, I have one more plant too. So this one is called Trillium. And I think I already might have planted some of this, but I can't remember. So it's red and white Trillium, and it says good for wooded areas, and it likes the shade, so that's perfect out here. They get 10 inches, 10 inches tall, winter hardy to 4 to 9, which is us. Blooms mid to late summer. So we're going to plant some of these too. Look at that, that's pretty, how they just grow through the bark and stuff. So, all right, so we have 12 roots in groups of, we've got 4 of each color. So I'm just going to plant a drift of them here kind of naturally along the bank. Alright, so when you plant these, you want to plant them so that this part is above ground, this part's underneath ground. So this is the new growth on the plant, which that's white because it's been in here, but that will start to grow out and form up when it gets some chlorophyll. Doesn't have anything on it, So I'm hoping that it's actually viable. It's just got the roots, but hopefully it will still be okay. There are so many worms out here. Nice moist soil. Dug one too many holes. Well, that's a bummer, but we're going to try to plant it. I only have 2 in here, and this is my 3rd one, but we're going to plant it anyway and see if it will grow. All right, so the trillium I think I'm going to plant just here. I've got some, you can't see them right now because they're all in dormancy, but I've got some hydrangeas here and then some grasses in front. And so I think I'm going to, so you can't see them right now because they're all dormant, but I've got some hydrangeas here and some grasses in front. So I think I'm going to just plant the trillium through here. I just have 6 of them. Put them interspersed in here with the hydrangeas. I think that'll be really pretty. Have a little drift of them. I've got some other bulbs planted in here that I'm not entirely sure where. I think these are bulbs that I planted in the fall. I'm really bad about marking plants, so then they just surprisingly come up. So here, we'll go ahead. So these are red and white. So I'm gonna, they're not red, they're like purple. It says red, but it's kind of a purple color. So I'm gonna intersperse them so they're not all clumped together. Supposed to be 3 in there. There's only 2 in that bag, I think. Oh, maybe that's the 3rd one. Yeah, there's the 3rd one. So these are much smaller roots, just little ones that you plant them, root down, spiky thing up, and that's where it will come up out of. So these just are little holes that I need. I'm gonna just mix them all together. So it says to plant these about a foot apart. Oh, that looks like that's a leaf. That's too deep of a hole, I'm sure. I can't tell you how happy it makes me to be digging in the soil and the shovel just goes in it, because when I planted these hydrangeas and all these other plants out here, I couldn't even dig. It was so hard out here. I used the auger, and even with the auger it was super hard to get into the soil, so this made a complete turnaround from where it was. if there was a third one there or not, but I got 5. So when you buy bulk production bags, they mass produce these, so they don't take, they're not careful to make sure they have exactly the right amount. You gotta be careful buying, buying from big box stores. You just know that it's not gonna be the best quality. I don't know if there was a 6th one or not. You just know it's not gonna be the best quality. Some people are worried that they have diseases because they don't check for that stuff, you know, like with dahlias. You probably shouldn't buy dahlias from big box stores because they can get gall. If you do buy them from there, you should separate them. I am not worried about getting gall out here. I don't know if these plants carry it, if they're susceptible to it, but I'm not worried about it because this is this is like our natural, you know, garden. This isn't like prized plants out here, so it's okay if they get, and I don't want them to get diseases, but it's okay if they show up. So, all right, so that was a pretty productive day. 2 fruit trees, a camellia bush, and then 12 other rooted perennials. So they said they'll still be, when I read about it online, said that it will take probably 2 years before you get really good blooms on it, but I'm excited to see even what it will look like this summer. So thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Bye.